Okay, so now we are going to be doing 12.3a notes. I don't know why the A is there, to tell you the truth, but this is going to be really talking about how the derivative is a slope and how you can use the derivative to find the slope in the equation of a line that's going to go by a curve. So you're going to have to remember some things about like slope and points on the graph. So the first part's really easy. And you're going to notice that this already has a prime. That means that is already the derivative. We don't have to find the derivative. All we got to do is plug in 2. So f of 2 equals 4 times 2 minus 7, which would give us that f of 2 is equal to 1. So be careful of the notations there. You don't have to find the derivative. It's already the derivative. Same thing here. We are going to plug in -2 into the derivative for every x. Do order of operations. So -2 to the third power is -8. -2 squared is 4. That's positive 8 minus 1 is 16 plus 12 plus 8 minus 1, which is going to give you a total of 35. So just making sure you look at the notation and plugging it in, because you're going to see why later. You're going to figure out things and have to plug it back in. Okay, so the next part, you notice these do not have the little prime in it, so it's not the derivative. So you have to find the derivative and then plug in the number. So first thing we're going to do is find the derivative. Remember that lovely power rule that we don't want to tell anyone until we've done 12.2? We're going to use that. Power rule means move that there. So that's 14, goes down by 1. Move that there, goes down by 1, there's 0, and there's no x's, so that's 0. And now we plug in -3 into that equation. So that's -42 minus 4. So the derivative at -3 is -46. Same thing for this one. Find the derivative. Power rule. That'll be -9 x squared goes down 1. -5 x 0. And then again you're going to plug in -1. Because you notice this doesn't have f of -1 there. So plug it in. That's positive 1 times 9, -9, -5, would give you a total of -14. Super easy. Okay, so if you guys remember from probably Math 1, a long time ago, or Advanced Math 8, this is the slope of a line. M represents slope, and B represents your y-intercept. Well, there is another equations for lines, and it has to do with this and the slope formula. So if you remember, the slope formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, or rise over run. And the rise is, remember we talked about this on notes for 12.1, the rise is the change in your y's over the change in x. Well, there's another form that's called point slope form. And it does exactly what it does. This is called slope intercept form, has a slope intercept. This is called point slope form, and it basically has a slope and then a point on the graph. So m is your slope, and x1 and y1 are point on the graph. These two numbers here, you're not going to replace. That going to be in the equation, just like these two are your equation. There's always an x and a y. Okay, so we're going to use that, and that's on your notes, to write an equation of a line tangent to f of x at the indicated point. So again, this is a parabola. A parabola is not going to have a constant slope. It depends on where you are at. So basically, there's a parabola, and we want to find the equation of a line tangent at -211. So let's say -211 is like right here. We want to find that equation of that line. That would be tangent next to it. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to be able to find x1, y1, to put it in this equation. Oops, just wrote it wrong. So you already have two of the three components. What you have to find is m, the slope. And remember, that is your slope. Slope and derivative are synonyms. So basically all you need to do is find the derivative. So we're going to find the derivative. Favorite thing to do, power rule, 4x, nothing there, so it's just 4x. And then you're going to plug in -2 into that equation. And that's why we practice, whoops, sorry, rewrite that. That's why we practice just plugging into the derivative, so it's 4 times -2, which is -8. That's your m value. And now we're going to plug this and this into there. So our answer would be y minus y1, which is 11, equals -8, x minus -2, which is +2. And you don't have to multiply that out. You don't have to do anything. All I want you to do is get to that point. So that means that this line right here would have a slope of -8. Pretty steep line right at that. Okay, so let's try another one. I always need to do two because you can't always understand on the first one. So again, that's x1, that's y1. All we need to know is find m, so we need to find m. Whoops, not find. Find m. And by doing the derivative. Power rule, -3x squared plus 4x, and then don't forget this, there's really a 1 there. So the power rule there is 1. A lot of people forget that. Now, you may not understand this, but this is a cubic going like this. And 0.2, -4 is right there, and we would want to know the slope of that one. Okay, so what we do is we plug in x into this equation, and they gave us x is 2. So -3 times 2 squared plus 4 times 2 plus 1. That's -3 times 4 plus 8 plus 1. And that is going to give us a total of -12 plus 8, which is -4 plus 1, which is -3. And now all we do is write an equation. It's y minus y1, and y1 is negative, so it's plus, equals -3 x minus x1. And so you notice that inside the parentheses, these always become the opposite. And this line makes sense. This is a negative slope. It's going down. Okay, so that's number 5 and number 6. Okay, so now we have 7 and 8 left. So this is write an equation of a tangent line based on the given condition. So all they're giving us is here's the parabola, and we know we have a point 3. So we basically have this parabola. I'm just going to sketch some parabola. Let's say it's like this. And the point 3 is something. I don't know what it is, but it's 3. So my first goal is to find y. Because everything we had before, we had x1 and y1. This is just x. I mean, these actually are x1. It's just x. So we have to find y. All we do is we plug it in. So find f of 3. So we're going to plug 3 in. That is going to give us a total of 9 minus 24 plus 7. So that gives us a total of -8. So now we know the point 3, -8 is on the graph. Somewhere down here. Okay, so that's our x1, y1. Next goal is to find m. How do you find m? Derivative. Slope. If we would have had tests on this chapter, which you're going to get a quiz at the end, derivative and slope are synonyms. So another name for a derivative is slope. So use the power rule, 2x, use the power rule, -8 goes down, this is known x's, and then we have to plug in, whoops, I'm still want to find for some reason, and I'm just going to plug 3 in. So 2 times 3 minus 6, which is -2, and that's my m value. So y minus y1, so y plus 8, equals -2 x minus 3. Now your m doesn't always have to be negative. And that graph's probably pretty bad, but it'd actually be a negative graph. That graph's pretty bad. Sorry. Or actually our x-intercepts would have been, it would have been here, and it would have been right here. Okay? So if they don't give you y, then you gotta find the y first before you find the derivative. Or you can find the derivative first, doesn't matter. Okay, now this one they give us y, but there's no x. So we have to find x. Okay, so let's talk about this. This is a graph. It is an upside down graph like this. Okay? Y is negative 15. There's actually two spots that y is negative 15. One over here and one over there. It's symmetrical, and there's going to be a line tangent here and a line tangent there. They should look like they have the same slope. One is going up and one is going down. So when we do this, we're actually going to have to find two answers. So we're going to find x, and we're going to get two answers. And we're going to have to write two equations. So first goal is to find x. So we're going to say negative 15 equals 1 minus x squared. Subtract 1. Negative 16 equals negative x squared. Divide by negative 1. X squared equals 16. Square root. Put this up a little bit. We get x equals plus or minus 4. So I'm going to make a little table over here. 1 when x is 4. And 1 when x is negative 4. And remember, y is negative 15 there. So there's a point 415 and negative 415 on a graph. Very symmetrical. I still need to find the slope. So I'm going to find my derivative. Power rule. Negative 2x. Plug in. Okay, so now I have my derivative. So now I need to find m. So in this case, I'm going to plug in 4. And my m is negative 8. Here, I plug in negative 4. And my m is positive 8. Now remember I said one line's going to go up and one's going down. I kind of have this backwards on the graph, but this line's going up at negative 4, so it's positive slope, and this one's going down. And so we're going to write the equation. And remember, y is negative 15, so it's y minus y1, so y minus negative 15. And it equals negative x, x minus 4. And on this one, it's y plus 15, but this is positive 8 and x plus 4. So you get two answers because you have two places on it. Okay, last question. At what value of x does f of x have a slope of 10? So let's go back to this equation. This one had a slope of 8 and negative 8. When would it have a slope of 10? Well, a slope of 10 is even steeper, so I'm thinking it's even farther away, so probably past 4, negative 4. So we're going to actually find the answer. So we're going to take, remember slope is your derivative, so we're going to take the derivative of the last question, which was negative 2x, and we want that to equal 10. And when x is 5, we'd have a slope of 10. Again, this is an upside down parabola. So on this side, actually, sorry, that's negative 5, that's dummy. And that's when the slope would be 10. Because remember, the slope was 8 over here. Now, farther away, it would be 10. And even farther away, it'd be a higher slope. So there's your notes for 12.3. One more notes. All we have left, 12.4. Okay, good luck. See you guys on the last notes. Bye.